Welcome to the Beard Me That Beer podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to episode number 20. 20. Holy shit.
Are we really at 20?
Yes, 20.
Wow. Man, it feels like we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. It has been 20 weeks.
That's a lot.
Good for us. Good for us. Pat on the back.
I guess so.
Episode 20, and it is our last week of doing the Conscious Rethink topics, and the last one is called Morality and Ethics. But first, the beer. What are you drinking, Sam?
Yeah. So I have, oh wow, I'm ruining electronics with it. I have a returning, a favorite, I'll say, maybe a favorite, but Belching Beaver.
Belching Beaver
milk stout. How fitting is this that this is the last in this Conscious Rethink series, and I'm fairly certain this is the last beer that I have laying around the house.
That means you gotta go out to the world and get some more beer.
No, David. I like inside.
That's ignorant.
I don't want to.
That's ignorant.
That's ignorant. You're ignorant.
No, that's ignorant.
I gotta say, I'm excited. I'm excited to drink this because I didn't know that I had this.
Oh, nice surprise. Nice surprise.
And it's quality. Yeah.
Quality. It's a sweet one.
Room temperature.
Oh, gross. Watch out for bubbles.
It's not. No, it's fine. And what about you, buddy?
I have
a cool setup today.
I have two beers. I went to grab another one because I'm almost done with this one. From Deft Brewing in Bay Park of San Diego.
It's a park?
Bay Park. That's like
park.
Bay Park. It's a little like a neighborhood off Moreno Boulevard near University of San Diego, USD.
Why'd you put like a pause?
Because I had to think
University.
I had to think about it.
Like it's two separate words. Oh,
but yeah, good. Deft is a pretty small brewery, but they, me and Sam were talking about this before, they are probably the only brewery in San Diego that I can 100% say that they have the most traditional beers in San Diego. So they don't do anything crazy like your blueberry blondes or your peanut butter milk stout. They do I love all beer, but they do a lot of European style beer. Right now I have what they call Deftoberfest Marzen, which is a German Marzen, 5.5%.
But it's May.
It's gonna be May.
It is May.
I will be the first one to say that I'm not huge on European beers unless it's a Irish dry stout. I love those. But this is very malty, and the carbonation hits on every single taste. Usually like your mouth gets used to it, but it's just sharp and punchy, and I like that carbonation kind of feel in your mouth. But I also grabbed another beer. Another 32-ounce crowler. My boss surprised me yesterday with like 5 crowlers of beer from Deft Brewing. So thank you, Jessica Flores, for bringing me beer. This one's a Honey Hells, 4.6%. So they're not very strong. So I think I can chug all these. That's why I have two giant cans of beer.
Well, be careful.
I'm taking my time. So yeah, I mean, I like this beer a lot. I never go for European style beers, but this is a pretty good beer. It's drinkable, and I feel like I can drink a lot of it and not get trashed.
Well, we'll find out.
Oh, we will, because this topic, morality and ethics. Oh, it's going to be trash. All right.
For one, David and I did not think to even follow up with what the last topic on the list was, so this totally in the dark. So this is probably going to be a little worse. I don't know about worse. I don't know. We got pretty out there these past couple.
That is the point. People want to hear opinions, and
nobody wants to hear that.
There are literally some people in in the world that want to hear what we have to say. Some.
David, it's just us listening to this, right?
I don't listen to our podcasts.
You're right. You're right. We don't.
I don't. There are some people that listen to it.
I do too. That thing you said.
Sam listens to it on 4 devices.
No, I don't. I really don't.
With separate Apple accounts.
Oh man, that's so sad.
Every time he has to reset his password.
All right, we get into this or what?
What's right and what's wrong? Good or evil? Morally acceptable or morally outrageous? There are so many scenarios to consider, but here are just a few to get you started. This is again our last A Conscious Rethink.com. Interesting topics to talk about. This one's morality and ethics. Question 1. Are you ready, Sam?
Hit me.
Why is it easy to overlook the mass suffering in the world?
I would think the typical person doesn't really think about it I would just say in general. I mean, you might have your moments where it's like, you're world conscious for a moment, but I think in general, you just don't think about it.
I 100% agree with you, and I'll take it one step further. We don't think about it because we're not suffering.
Well, I would say, we're not suffering, like, yeah, we're definitely not on the low end of that stick. But
I would say we're the farthest from suffering, really.
We're pretty far off. We're pretty far off from suffering.
Yeah.
And wow, I just totally. What was I gonna say? What was the question?
Why is it so easy to overlook the mass suffering in the world?
Wow, I had a very good detailed answer in the back of my head, but it totally just left. Just gone. I don't know, man. I'm tired today. But
I agree with Sam.
I would say.
I agree with Sam. We just don't think about it, and unless there's a moment where one of those really sad commercials comes up, where it's like you could feed an African child for like 25 cents.
In the arms of the angels.
Yeah. I also another reason, I think we've just been kind of just been prepared because in going to school we are taught about all this suffering, wars and losers and lots of awful people and awful stuff, so we're kind of just we know about it and we know it happens. So, and I think it's more like, oh, it's history. Like the really bad stuff it's done. People don't really do that, but people do, but we don't really acknowledge it because we live in our own little world. As Americans, really, we're like, we're the center of the fucking universe.
Yeah, definitely living in a bubble would have something to do with it. But I would say too, if it's not directly in front of you, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But another thing I would think is like, it's such a giant, like, the whole world suffers from it. And it's like, you're one person. I feel like, you probably, I'm sure not everybody feels that way, but I would think, it's such a big problem. Like what difference can I make myself? So it's just like the problem's so big. It's like, you don't even know what you would, do to really put a dent in the thing.
And 100%, I agree with you. It's like we cannot do anything. I cannot go and help
as individuals. Well, I mean, you could do small things. Like, I mean, if
10,000 of us got together, we could do something. But even that isn't comparable of what, like the one example, Akon, like he brought like electricity to a whole fucking country.
That's
by himself.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because he has the money and he has the resources and he can get that done. I can't go give electricity to barely myself because it's just the house lights just turn on.
I mean, your average person is not going to be able to, I mean, without huge sacrifice, affect like any like sizable amount of change. But
yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah,
or they just don't think about it.
And I think it goes back to we're in our little world and we're fine. But everything around us, there are bigger problems than what we have in the United States for sure. I mean, but there are problems in the United States. There are some real shitty problems, but yeah, when suffering is such a dark term for me. Suffering is like you don't have a home. You don't know when you're going to eat next. You don't even know if you have clean water, which happens in America, which is the stupidest thing in the fucking world.
Yeah. No, there's huge problems in the world. It's just
I can't do anything about it.
It's daunting.
Yeah. And I love it when people say like, yeah, no, you can. You get enough people to do it. It's like, but then there's that one person that is in power, quote marks, in power, that won't do anything about it. Okay, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
Question number 2. Should we have the right to end our own life?
What do you think?
Technically we have the right to do that. I feel like this question's a little weird. I think they should rephrase it as, is it acceptable to end your own life? We all have the right to do that.
I mean, what can you do to stop? If you really want to do
physically,
it, physically,
no one can really stop you from doing it. But is it? If someone really like this was like probably in the like 90s where some guy that Dr. fucking whatever Giroux or
no, it's the dude from Dragon Ball. It's not that.
Some guy came up with this. Dr. Chekhov, I think maybe came up with like, oh, people should
Star Trek.
People want to come to me to kill themselves and because their lives are over. I think people get to a point where that they think that they know that that's their only exit and they want to leave this world, whether it's depression or they are content with what they've done and they're over this planet. I just don't think none of us understand the actual like, hey, that person's gone, and that person doing it to themselves, like they don't even know what the effect is because you can't undo it. It's like making a mistake. There's consequences to it. And if you make enough of the same mistake, you'll learn not to do it. But with death, it's like, in suicide, it's your one time.
This is a tough one.
I would say yes. I think if someone really wants to do that, they should be allowed to. But I think they should go through, and I wish it was available to everyone on this planet, not therapy, just like, hey, here are the people that love you or care about you, or, they want to make sure that you don't get to that point. And they, it's like getting your license, you got to take a test. You got to, like, I think there should be some sort of procedure to get to that.
Yeah. If you are honestly coming to a point where you're, you're going to make that choice, like you should I just wouldn't really think of something to implement there, but you should really evaluate, like, if you're really that deep, or just like the people that would be affected, like, I don't know, that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like, I know I wouldn't do that, but like,
it's also,
I've never hit a low like that.
We should also consider people that like are on their deathbeds and like,
yeah.
Hey, I have no,
but that's a whole different thing.
I'm supposed to be dead in a month. I want to just end it now.
Yeah.
I think if they want to end it, yeah.
I would think if it was like a good medical reason for a thing, I could understand like euthanasia, but like just outright suicide, I would think you would have to make some major evaluations of just like, just do like a reality check for yourself. Like, is it really worth going through with something like that? And who am I going to hurt by doing this? Or, it's like, it's layers again.
And I understand what you're saying. And I also want to say that it's not that easy for everyone. We're not trying to say that, hey, just get better. It's sometimes really
no. I understand. I get that. I know, but
but I think
just really think hard about it.
Yeah, let's do an eval. Let's just think about it, like before you come to that decision. But I think some people they're done. Like, yeah, I'm good. And it's weird, like being content about it. Like there are some people that are content with the idea that I'm ready to go.
I mean, in all honesty, like if you're ready to go, I'm not gonna be able to change any of that, short of like, wrestling you, but even
physically stopping you,
physically like overpowering or whatever. But like, I mean, like, if you made up your mind, I mean, it's all mental, man. If you want to change things, you have to want change.
Yeah.
So
but it's not easy for everyone. But yeah. Okay. Question 3. Two parents decide to raise their son as a girl or vice versa. Should they be allowed to if it will cause the child identity issues when they are older?
Should they decide?
This is Should they be allowed to do it?
Like,
So this is a really deep question because it then goes into the parents having absolute control over their child, which I am totally against you controlling your child, first of all. Whether you're living through them or want them to be something because that's your thought process, I'm for just letting your child grow up, show them love, support, show them lots of different things, sports, art, show them everything, give them a buffet of everything so that they become, a human that can make choices or sees the world as it is and can go down it. This is a touchy question because parents, unfortunately, are the deciding factor. They can do what they want. I don't want kids, so I have no intention of ever getting to this point. One really good example, I think, Derek Wade from the basketball player. Like, I think
from the basketball player,
one of the basketball. He's probably retired, but I think he lets one of his child lives however they want. And he fully supports their child to how they want to be, whether gender or identifying themselves. And I think that's the correct way. I think you raise your child as, this is a human that I need to take care of. Give them the option. Kids are going to learn. Kids are going to learn what they like, what they don't like. And if when they are of an age, 16, 17, that's a weird time because we are... As a human, a lot of change is happening. So they may go one way and they may go another way. But I don't think anything should be forced. I think it should be, here's your options. Here's what the world is about. Guide. We're your guide, not your dictator telling you what to do and how to do it.
All right, that's a pretty good argument. I'll say, I don't know, because I don't have kids either. So this is like, definitely out of my wheelhouse.
You're not going to make anyone happy answering this question. So
yeah, well, okay. If I were to have a kid, I would think, depending on the gender, I would probably raise them how they're born. To like I would. Okay, let me think this through.
And so, I'm going to say this right now. There's nothing wrong with that because that's just how we we have grown up. This
No,
transgender.
I'm not done yet.
I'm not saying, but we are in the midst of this. This is all getting new to us. So we all need to grow and understand it. So Sam's not saying anything wrong.
Well, I mean, I might be to somebody, but it's an opinion, man.
Fuck everyone.
But no. I mean, fuck what I say. You do what you want. It's it's a free country. Or if you're not listening to this and you're somewhere else, if you're listening to this somewhere else, whatever. But yeah, I would say for me, I would probably just raise them according to whatever gender they're born as, at least until they form some kind of sense of individuality. But I would try and do positive reinforcement. So rather than slap on the wrist every time. I'm not gonna I wouldn't punish you for doing something different. Hold on. I'm twisting this up a little bit.
Yeah. You're starting to sound a little.
No. Let me. This is coming off a little more negative than I mean to. But so I would raise them according to gender, until there was a person there. How I was saying the other week, up until a certain age, it was just there was nothing going on upstairs. But when I start
when you're conscious,
making decisions,
yeah.
Where you snap into being.
Yeah.
It's
but you're still going to guide them. You're still going to support them. And I think we should all do this. It's just hey, if they want to do this, go ahead. It shouldn't affect anyone else. I've always said this. It doesn't bother me unless you are physically attacking me or talking to me. Then I'm bothered. Mm-hmm. If you say something about me or you're attacking me, you can do whatever you want. You can dress any way you want. Doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say don't do something unless you're hurting yourself or somebody else. So, I mean, I'll try and give you the best opportunities that I can, for you to pursue the stuff you want, but I'm not going to slap your wrist for, I don't know, doing something that's foreign to me or it's just maybe something I'm not comfortable with. As long as you're doing things safely, I don't care.
And I think that comes from Sam's support system.
Yeah, it's all about support. You got to support the people you care about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you run them away.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not condoning don't hurt anyone. Don't let them hurt people. Don't let them hurt themselves. But I think your guides. We're not. Their parents aren't supposed to control their children.
Well, I mean, probably not the way. Yeah. No, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They're not supposed to control children in a psychologically damaging way.
Right. In a constructive way.
Yeah. Make them good people. Okay, question 4.
I am so not 100% awake for this conversation right now.
If it were guaranteed to reduce violent crime by 30%, should everyone have to give a DNA sample to the police? What if it were 80% decrease?
Well, is it guaranteed or is it
Yeah, it says that's the first thing. If it were guaranteed to reduce violent crime by 30%.
Okay, well, that's a bit polarizing, I think, because you are reducing crime, which is not a bad thing, but you are also giving away private information, I guess. In a sense.
So I'm kind of half and half on this because one, violent crime reducing is a good thing. Mm-hmm. 2, or the other side, we as humans cannot do anything good without someone ruining it. Mm-hmm. So I just don't think our system currently is responsible enough to handle this. because someone's going to be like, let's sell it. Let's sell your DNA to some company that will then use it in some way that, good or bad.
Right.
Even if they sell it for them to figure out something good, it doesn't matter. They have no right to do that. And I think that's what most people are afraid of. Hell, they have my DNA. But here's my other side about it. You are not that important for your DNA. Is that like important where the government's going to come after you because you're so important because of your DNA? The likelihood of that happening is zero. But people have the right to think that. I would totally, if it was 80%, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know, and then the argument is like, well, you're losing your privacy. It's like, what do I have to lose? Like, I'm a pretty normal dude. I have a job. I come home. I drink some beers.
Okay. All right, David. But what if you're a criminal?
Well, you kind of deserve to get caught, right?
Well, what if it wasn't like some serious stuff? Like, what if I just did like some light criming?
Like what? Please.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if they would use your DNA to catch you if you shoplifted.
Well, this is 80%.
Also, says violent crime.
And which portion of the 100% crime?
This is people killing people or hurting people.
No. You said violent crime?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you just meant crime in general.
It says violent crime.
But is it like the most violent crime?
This is violent crime generalized, okay? This is someone physically... I mean, like, this is assaults,
there's a scale, man. There's
murders.
There's violent crime, but there are varying levels of violence.
I know, this is violent crime. 80% of all violent crime.
Okay, but like which end of that? Is it like the lower end of violent crimes? Or like...
It's just
we're talking like mass genocide?
The whole scale.
The whole scale?
I would say if we were responsible enough as people, if our government was responsible enough, if everyone was perfect and trained and everything was set like perfectly, yes. Will we ever be at that point where we can trust the government with our DNA and not to fucking do some Facebook shit? No, I don't think that. And that's just a human element. We're not perfect and we never will be.
Well, I would say it would be a very good case you made if you were able to guarantee something like that.
Oh yeah, no, but that's the question. That's the question, though. It's guaranteed. If it said maybe guaranteed, then it'd be a little different.
Yeah. Well, real world, I would not. But in that scenario, maybe I would consider it. But I value my privacy. So.
If they, did some like testing where they could figure out if like I had the possibility of getting cancer, I kind of would do it too. Like, oh, you're doing DNA samples, but you're going to test me for everything too? Cool, here it is. Free test.
All right, well, that's all good, but I don't know. I just have an issue with, and I know it's not entirely unfounded, but you're giving that information to people who make mistakes.
And, oh yeah. It's not, but if it was a robot.
Oh man! All right, that's a whole nother thing now.
Yeah, that is actually a whole nother thing.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, this next question is a big one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
It's
like 5 questions.
Okay. All right. Well, hurry up.
Should we just do it as the first part? We answer it, then we go to the second part.
Sure.
Okay, first part of number 5. Is it ever just to sacrifice the life of one innocent person in order to save the lives of 5 innocent people?
This kind of sounds like our social etiquette thing a little bit. from way back.
I'm trying to think. So every time this question comes up a lot, and I always try to think of a scenario where it's ever comes to a point where that is actually the scenario. And the only one is the Tesla scenario, where your car will avoid being in an accident to protect you. But what if it's 5 people in the road on one side and then one person on the road? Will it avoid those 5 people and kill the one person, or avoid the one person and kill the 5 people?
I think it's dependent on the people involved.
I mean, it says lives of 5 innocent people, so one innocent person.
But who's really innocent?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to follow this question. Obviously, it's never just to sacrifice a life. I don't think it's just. Or there's no justice in that period. But mathematically, is it more important to save 5 people than one? Yeah, probably.
All right, mathematically, probably, but I don't know. I think I'm looking at it emotionally. I think. So
you're saying it's okay to let the other 5 people die?
I mean, it depends.
I'm saying, or all of them die. I guess it would be better for all of them to die. You know, that's fair.
If I were to walk away, I wouldn't have any guilt at all because then, yeah, no survivors. No, I'm just kidding.
So you're saying it's not just. I'm not saying it's just. But when it comes down to it, would it, we lose 5 or 1? Obviously,
I would say if you're locked in on those counts, 1v5, then I would say you can make an argument either way. But if it's like 1 for like 1,000.
All right, question 2 of 5. Yeah. What if taking 1 life would save 100 lives?
I feel like I would be more inclined to say yeah.
I would say in a non-emotional way, mathematically, yes. 100 innocent people versus 1.
But like, okay.
But it's not. I don't think it's still just. I don't think it's just. That's my emotional answer. I don't think there's no just to it. It's not fair to that one person. That being said, it's not fair to 100 other people for them to die either.
Well, it's not fair to anybody in that situation.
I mean, I'll even go even darker. It doesn't matter, you're gonna die. So it's like the Joker. This is like that Joker boat thing in The Dark Knight.
Okay. Well, I would say 1v5, 1v100. You can make an argument either way. Although it does seem as though if the numbers are growing, then you might be a little more inclined to go with the mass numbers.
And speaking of the Joker, is the decision made easier if the person being sacrificed or a convicted murderer?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay. The people involved that kind of affect how.
I just want to make it clear. This person has been convicted and is 100% guilty. 100% guilty. Yes. Kill the dude. Save the people. Yes.
Well, hold on. What does it say they're convicted of?
It doesn't say a murderer. So it's someone
you could be killed. Like a convicted shoplifter or like
they kill. It says murderer.
Oh, it says murderer.
Convicted murderer. They killed someone.
Okay. Well, what were the conditions of the murder?
Not passion. They had the mentality that they were going to kill someone.
Okay. Well, what if this was like a euthanasia kind of thing?
They were hired to kill someone because someone wanted to die. That I don't read that anywhere in this article.
Hey, man, I'm just introducing.
I know, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, in the context of how the question is phrased, yes.
All right. If I were to answer unemotionally, yes.
Okay.
Kill the guy.
Would you be more willing to sacrifice an adult than you would be to sacrifice a baby?
A baby, you said?
Yeah, so adult versus baby.
I was going to say, sacrifice? I wouldn't do that to a baby. There are some kids I would consider.
Oh my gosh. That's like the fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't do kids unless that kid's a dick.
I'm like, if it's a shitty kid, maybe.
I mean, this is baby though. So this is the purest of innocence.
This is a unformed consciousness.
Yeah,
just like before that.
And I honestly, in that situation, I don't think any adult would argue it. Oh, it's me or the baby. I mean, there are some selfish people, but at the end of the day, you're gonna look really shitty and then be alive.
I would think the adult that is also at stake here would probably make the argument. depending on them, if
I
they're
can
selfish.
support. I have things to do. I gotta get my hair cut.
They're like, what you want to kill me for? I'm a person. I have things to do. That thing doesn't even talk yet.
I can do things that the baby can't.
I can help.
All right, and then next, would you sacrifice your own life?
For what?
So obviously, like, would you be the one that would sacrifice it for the 5 people? For the 100 people?
I thought you were just asking me if I would kill myself.
No, I said sacrifice. I didn't say kill yourself.
Well, I mean, I could be sacrificing myself.
I mean, sacrificing is killing, is dying. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to kill yourself. You can't self-terminate.
I'm not a robot, David. I can do whatever I want.
Robots are different from Terminators.
Okay,
so this question is open-ended because they didn't say the specifics. If it was someone I cared about and loved, yes. If it was random people, I would really have to think about it. I think it'd go down to what Sam was saying. It'd be, who are those people?
What do I know about them?
Yeah, would I sacrifice myself for 5 people that were, convicted of murder, but they're appealing their charges? I don't think I would.
Yeah, no, it's entirely dependent on the specifics of the situation, I would say.
But if it's like you, Isabel, Oscar, and like 2 friends, of course I would sacrifice myself. That's like no brainer. In reality, I wouldn't have to come to that point because I would kill whoever like put me in that situation.
Is threatening me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to because I would sacrifice them.
Okay. Now, would the method of sacrifice affect the situation at all, do you think?
Ooh, like, hey, you're going to fall asleep and be totally comfortable. Or a million thumbtacks through your eyeballs.
Yeah. How about that? I think that would be something
I'd be
worth
more
mentioning.
inclined to die sleeping, but then again, if it's people I love, my wife,
I was like,
my best friend.
What if it was like the worst thing?
Bring on the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question. Would you sacrifice yourself via human centipede for your family?
But some of those people made it out of that movie.
You're in the middle. You're the middle of 3, and the ends die, and you're just
who are the ends? You're introducing more stuff.
2 big sumo wrestlers.
2 big sumo wrestlers.
A lot of fish before.
Were they like what? How? Hold on. How did their future look? Were they like amazing prospects, or were they just
up and coming?
Up and coming? Yeah, I would do it for some up and comers. But if it was like some lackluster sumo that never won a match ever, I'd be like, maybe not.
This is hilarious. That was question 5, by the way.
Okay.
I think we flew right through that one.
Yeah.
All right, question 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. If you learned that your father was cheating on your mother, or vice versa, would you tell your mother knowing that it would leave her unhappy for the rest of her life, or stay quiet if your father promised he'd never do it again?
I would tell.
Yeah, that one, yeah. It's pretty, it's your mom, first of all. Pretty disrespectful. I think this is a level, like your parents cheating versus like your friends cheating. Like you find out your best friend is cheating on their girlfriend. Like, would you tell that girlfriend? Versus this situation. I think it's a little different. I think it's your parent. You might, but your parents, you said you would.
Yeah, because it's a different kind of connection. Yeah. Relationship. Yeah.
One, it should be that person telling them, not you. But your parents, it's like your parents have you, and what other daughters, sons they have. But yeah, I would tell my mom. Of course, I would.
But
my parents are divorced, so it comes from a different aspect. And thank God they're divorced. They should have done it earlier. But yeah, I would.
Yeah. But on another note, I mean, like, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but don't cheat on somebody. That's. I mean, like, I would think in general, people don't deserve that to happen to them. If you find that you connect better with somebody else, just tell them. Just cut it off. Don't hurt somebody like that. I don't care.
I agree with you. I also like the psychological part of it. Some people do it for other reasons than connecting.
Well, that's true, but like
not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay, but I think that if you're cheating constantly with every single partner you're with, then it's more of a psychological something dependence, or the act of doing it makes you feel powerful. It's something other that's bothering you than connection.
But I would say, like, if you're gonna do that to somebody, nobody deserves that kind of hurt. So
yes.
Like, I don't care what the reason is. You should fess up.
But I think I would tell every. I think if you're the only, child, you kind of have to. Like, you got to protect one of them, and you got to make the other one be honest. I just remember, like, there's, like, I don't know if it was a Twitter or like a text message, like one of those meme generators where it's like the dad accidentally texting the son, like, oh, like to their, the cheating person.
Mistress.
And the mistress,
or the misters.
The dad, like, oh shit, that wasn't for you. I'll give you $1,000, you keep quiet. And the son's like, $1,000 and a new Xbox and a new TV, and I'll stay quiet. Like, that's fucked up. Don't do that. I think that's what I reasoned. Like, no, you should just make them tell or tell them.
But yeah, I would definitely tell.
Last question, number 7. Is it okay to perform experiments on animals if it means saving human lives? Does the type of animal matter?
Well, I feel like emotionally, I would say the type of animal would matter. Like, I'd be more inclined.
I would say exactly,
yeah,
and I would say this is pretty relevant right now. We're going through this COVID-19. If we're able to give an animal the same virus, and we're experimenting on vaccines, is it okay to do that to save people? I think it is, because this is something we have never seen. None of us has ever been through something like this. This is killing people. And I think right now in an emergency, I think it's okay to do that. If it's like, hey, we're testing shampoos, no, it is not okay. But yeah, if it's saving a human life now, I mean, I think it is. This has stopped the world.
Yeah, and I would think this would qualify for something, if that would be something to expedite the process, that this, it's still, not ideal, but
yeah,
if you needed an excuse, this is as good as any. So, but I would think go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just because right now and I don't think the type of animal matters, because to save human lives, it's very specific animals. They're not going to test a dog to save a human life. That's just not how it works. They're going to save a primate or a pig, because our DNA matches more closely, our organs match more closely. They're not going to use your dog. That's just never going to happen. But yeah, to save human life, I mean, humans are shitty, and maybe we deserve what's happening right now in a karma kind of way. But there's some people that don't deserve to die because you want to go get your hair cut.
Yeah. But I would say, like, in normal circumstances when the world is not ending, I would say, well, first I would consider alternatives before I went straight into on the animal testing. But I mean, I don't know what those would be. I'm not a scientist. I wouldn't pretend to be. I don't know what options are available, but
I had this discussion with Isabel actually like 2 weeks ago.
Coming from a sciencey person.
Yeah, she works in a lab as a research grad student, medical, and she's telling me, she brought it up that they like staple rats or punch holes in their ears to mark them, and I'm like, whoa, that's fucked up. Like that's really fucked up. As a human, I would not want my ear to be punched, hole punched, or my tail to be cut off.
But
then she said, we do it very young. We would do it they do it very young where the tail or the ear are not really a part of their body yet. It's still like just growing cartilage. So it makes me feel a little bit better, but at the end of the day, we don't really know what that animal's feeling. And then I was like, why don't we use, convicted people to do testing? Mark off like, if you do this experiment as a murderer, you don't get the death penalty. You get life in prison, so you get to live out your life, like kind of like death. What's it called? Gamer.
Why would you bring that movie up?
Because I just watched it last week.
Oh, that's so goofy.
So it's like the concept of the movie is you do 25, 30 rounds of a shooter game where someone controls you. And if you make it through 30 rounds, you get this is just death row people. You get a free pass to live your life. Not as, aggressive, obviously, but if people choose that, like, should that be a choice? But yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. You got anything else to add?
No, that's it. What about you?
I'm up for alternatives first. But like I said earlier, I guess it depends on the kind of animal too. But
yeah, and I don't think we should be doing shampoo, stuff like that.
Like stuff that is not like potentially life-saving. I would say maybe hold off on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're in the middle of this, so it's a pretty relevant question. Would it be okay to just skip all the safety protocols and start doing vaccines on mice that have that they might just die? And that's the sad part. Mice are very like the easiest thing to use because you can fucking buy them and grow them. It's not hard.
Yep.
And this is a morality ethics discussion. And I think it goes back to that first question. It's mass suffering. Like you can include animals on that.
It's mass suffering.
Yeah. And one last thing, we were watching this documentary about how they do that Planet series where they film like all these great shots of the world. This is the behind the scenes where they film the camera crew filming the world.
Wow.
And there's one part where I forget where they are, but they find a bunch of walruses and like they surrounded their little like shack and they can't even get out. And then they finally get out and they're doing all their like drones and the great shots. And then they go to this other smaller island and they see the walruses climbing up the cliffs. And I was like, I told Isabel, turn this off. And she's like, why? I'm like, I saw a fucking GIF about this, and this is fucking walruses climbing up cliffs, and then they slip and they fucking drop 300 feet and die. And I was like, I don't want to watch this at all. And then someone was like, this is because they're getting aggressive towards each other because there's not enough room for them because we're killing off their environment. And I'm like, oh, and I watched the GIF and I was like, what this is like a fucking 700-pound animal falling. And it just, if you've seen anything fall on sharp rocks, the rock isn't softening the blow. It stops the drop.
It's like the end of Tremors. If you've seen that movie.
This is like really and that kind of suffering needs to stop for sure. Oh, I mean, thank God we are now in our homes and the world is healing. Thank you. The largest ozone hole over Antarctica is gone from a month of no humans out. But yeah.
Morality and ethics. It's a interesting topic. And I guess...
I think it is interesting because we really only talk about it when it becomes a subject, not in our daily lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not something I normally typically think about, so...
Yeah.
But,
we're not, we don't steal something and get our hand chopped anymore. Mm-hmm. It's less damaging now.
Or at least different. All right. Anything else to add?
Thank you, A Conscious Rethink. This was awesome. I think the topics just got deeper and deeper and harder to discuss, but I think it opened us up to let people know our opinions and how maybe if they agree or disagree.
All right, and I guess that concludes our little mini series as well. So yeah, good job.
I think we should do more mini series.
Yeah,
series. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for watching.
Keep drinking, keep listening.